Welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything between in the wide world of Warhammer. Today we're here live with the brand new Chaos Knights Codex. Big thank you to Games Workshop who sent us that in advance to review it. My name is Adrian and I'm joined today by Bridgerhan.
What's up?
Very exciting news. We got the first of the big robots. We just came off the back of our first game with them as well. We won't spoil, but we might reference to certain things in it because it kind of gives some context for how this is.
Yep.
Welcome in, everybody.
Initial thoughts.
First thoughts.
Love it.
Yes.
It's a great book.
You like it?
I think
Oh my gosh.
this edition, we've seen like roller coasters of power level.
Yeah.
This is like in that sweet spot for me. I think Chaos Knights are where I want more armies to be.
Right.
I think this is what we strive to get armies to. I'm not saying it's perfect. I think there's things about this book that will be changed.
Sure.
But I think it's a great start.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's at a appropriate power level. It's also very flavorful. There wasn't any detachments that I read and I was like, this is like a dud. And they all kind of tended towards some different builds, which I also appreciate. It's not just like, oh, clearly this is what you always do,
Right.
which is awesome, you know? So I think yeah, overall, it's exciting.
I am surprised to hear that Knight players are upset. Oh, well,
I'm not surprised.
am I surprised? Every book, the world is falling.
The world is falling, and of course, you know, the big elephant in the room is the elephants are smaller now. They're -1 toughness, +2 wounds.
Yep.
And
cheaper.
And cheaper.
So
it seems like an obvious thing for people to be upset about, but that is incorrect.
It's almost exactly like World Eaters.
Oh.
Specifically Berserker stats, where people were like,
Right.
you could do the math for them and show them it's the same almost always or better.
Right.
And they're still like,
Nuh-uh.
no, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Exactly.
Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks.
Don't tell me to do math.
Yeah, precisely. I think like don't fall prey to that immediate like a gut check of like, oh, these stats are worse, aka everything is worse.
Yeah.
And of course the classic caveat, which is not consolation to the Knights players themselves, but I'll say I think it's better for the game. I think it makes them a little bit less of a skew army. It's going to make some profiles actually have a chance into them, which I think is going to ultimately help stabilize the faction in general, because Chaos Knights, Infernal Knights, they're always like super up or super down, and if we can just be a little bit more level and get closer to the 50% play line, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, you know, but beyond just like the sake of the game, I think they're still going to be pretty great.
Yeah.
And we saw some of the very important changes in today's game. So the way this is going to work is we're not doing like a full just read through itself, but we will talk about all the elements. We'll talk about the detachments, we'll talk about data sheets, et cetera, and so if you have questions, as always, this is not a lecture, this is a live discussion, that's why we do it live. So if you folks have questions or clarifications, we'd love to discuss, and maybe you have already heard of something that we have not found yet, so we would love to hear from you.
Yep.
But yeah, welcome in everybody. Welcome Matthew Powell, Tellable, Coffee and Composing, Grimpo96, Tony Sheets, Sam, Just Jupiter, Eunaeus, Stephen Burton, Sam, I said Sam twice, Pendim, Colin, and Eunaeus again. What's up, everybody?
Hi.
All right.
Should we kick it off with the army rule?
Let's do it. So what does this look like now?
It's weird. The army rule used to be, you would have like a progression of dread as the game goes on. Turns 1, 2, and 3, I think, were when you step through it. And it was always enemies near you are -1 leadership. Then you would step up to, and they are -1 to hit you when they're battle shocked, and you are +1 to wound them when they are battle shocked. And if they are below starting strength and near you, they have to battle shock rather than just below half.
Okay, yeah.
So you would like progress through this thing.
Right.
And none of them were like amazing. And it was just a weird army rule that was easy to forget because none of them mattered.
Right.
So now they took that and they broke it up. And now you kind of pick them as you go. On turns 1, 3, and 5, or battle rounds 1, 3, and 5.
Right.
You get to pick from the abilities that I just described, plus a little bit more.
Totally.
So you start with everybody within 9 of you is always -1 leadership. You can stack another -1 on top of that. You can get the +1 to wound battle shock things, -1 to be hit by battle shock things, but also importantly, outside 18 inches, -1 to hit.
Big improvement there.
Big improvement. You can get the aura of enemies who are below starting strength have to battle shock within 9 of you. Enemies who fail battle shock near you take D3 mortals. This is interesting.
Yeah.
It's fine. +3 inch to all of your auras.
That's nice.
So to me, darkness, which is the -1 to hit, and dominion, +3 inch to all your auras, are the two that are like always relevant.
Yeah.
The rest are whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll pick one, or you'll roll 2 dice, and there's no repeats, and there's no re-rolling. So if you get something you already have,
That's what it is.
or you roll doubles, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Sam, definitely correct. There is still a lot of battle shock. However, it feels like there's less reliance on it, which is the big change that you'll see. And it's not obvious from the initial rules. You look at this, you're like, oh, okay, it's kind of the same, but sideways. But throughout the rest of the book, there's a lot less focus on, like, they have to be battle shocked to get your benefits. I mean, the big one is, of course, that -1 to hit, battle shocked or outside of 18. So there's more things like that that will just be generally useful, and you get an extra bonus if the battle shocked.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the index detachment, every detachment has some like hoop you're supposed to jump through or some theme. The index detachment was all about battle shocking.
Right.
And they broke that up. So there's no detachment in this that is the index detachment.
Right.
The first detachment is Traitorous Lance, which is kind of an index. I think this is the most like the index.
Yeah.
The detachment rule is after the first battle round, when you choose your dread abilities, you just get another one. And you can't roll for it.
Right.
You just pick one.
That's cool.
So I think the way you want to do this is you roll 2 dice.
Yeah.
You get those 2. And then you pick a third one.
Oh, that's sick.
So you could roll Darkness, and then you don't even have to pick it.
Right, yeah.
You could roll Darkness and the Extend Auras, and now you get to pick anything you want.
That really
Or-
supercharges it.
Right. This one makes the army rule feel the best,
Yeah.
and it almost makes me wonder, should this be how the army rule actually works? Because these abilities are so small,
yeah.
they're so whatever,
Exactly.
that like I kind of feel the other detachments almost ignore the army rule. Like, it just doesn't do much.
Right.
And then the enhancements, specifically I want to call out Veil of Medrengard.
Okay.
4 up invuln against ranged, 5 up against melee.
That's great. That's big.
This is very important because if you want big knights to be in the game, they need rotate. Rotate is not in every detachment.
Ah, it's no armor contempt, huh?
Right. And if this detachment, you might call it the index, it did not get rotate.
Right.
So it needs access to a 4 up invuln, or else big knights just won't be played. And that's a problem.
Yeah, that's
a problem.
That's the problem that we've had in the index was like, it was all war dogs. And that's a question we've already seen in chat is like, will we see big knights and things like that? So we're definitely on the lookout for abilities like this. Veil, awesome to see it back.
Yep. Terror Shades ended up in this detachment, so you can do mortals and like sap the life out of enemies that fail battle shock near you. Very fun. Something that they seem to have honed in on is almost every detachment, or I think every detachment has a way to sticky objectives.
Right. That's great.
And that, it's something that really sucks to not have.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing big knights. That's another reason to not play big knights is like, oh, well, I need to stand on objectives. So how many units do I have? But in 10th edition, the state of the game where it really is, you can't necessarily walk up objectives anyway.
No. Well, was there a super sticky one?
There is. We'll get to that.
Okay, sorry,
it's very interesting.
I think it is so essential because of the problem that you're mentioning. Is there's so much uppy downy in the game. There's all these little chaff units that sticky is good, but a lot of the time you still end up having to keep something nearby to prevent deep strikers or whatever.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And then we'll also talk about allies, folks. Seeing a lot of questions about that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can do that right now. That's
sure.
part of the army rule. So Dreadblades, if your whole army has the Chaos keyword, then you can get 1 Big Knight or 3 War Dogs. None of them can be your Warlord. They don't get enhancements, etc.
I think that's basically the same or exactly the same.
I think that is exactly the same.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Good question. Thank you.
Super Heavy Walker, I think, is also the same. You move over 4 inch or less for free. You move over bigger stuff. You roll a die on a 1-year battle shock.
Cool.
Great. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about the Traitorous Lance. It's like, it's fine. It's just run-of-the-mill. It's the index detachment.
Yeah, makes sense.
Infernal Lance we played today. This is, I think, both of us, our favorite detachment.
Definitely.
And kind of the most interesting because the theme is not a gimmick.
Yeah, right.
The theme is an army mechanic. It's almost like this should have been the army rule.
It kind of felt like it should have been. And it benefits all types of knights of all shapes and sizes. I think it has, in some ways, it leans towards the bigger knights, but you wouldn't be wrong for playing a bunch of small knights with it.
Right. So Malefic Surge is the detachment ability. In your command phase, you can choose knights, as many as you want, to surge. They get a token that says they surged, and then they have to make a leadership test. If they fail it, they take D3 mortals. That's it. They still get their token. You can spend that token to get +3 move, or to get lethal or sustained on an activation, or to get a 5-up invuln and a 6-up feel no pain for a phase when they're targeted.
That's the big one. That is melee as well, folks, which again is one of the big weaknesses of knights traditionally, is they don't have invulns in melee, so you get in there and just punch straight through them. Now, any knight for a surge could have it.
Which is huge. And there is a stratagem at the end of any phase to put that token, that empowered token, on a unit that doesn't have a token.
That's huge.
Yeah. So you can, at the end of your opponent's charge phase, be like, oh, this guy's in combat and you're going to wreck him? No, he's got a 5-up invuln now.
Big deal. Yeah, so because if it's not clear, you put the token on them, and then when you want to activate it, you'll get one of those abilities, it falls off. Yeah. So typically if you want to be offensive, you'll use that, it's gone, then you basically use this strat to, the phase before, supercharge again, and then be able to surge for the 5-up invuln, 6-up feel no pain, which is cool. It's a very interesting mechanic. We saw that in our last game. It was like, okay, well, you spend the thing, but if I move here, you could pop it on here. So in some ways, I need to like go for 2 locations because you can only surge in 1. Very interesting.
Yeah. The enhancements are all reasonably good. They all play a little bit off the surge, but some of them play off a surge in a way that's just not as exciting. Like Bestial Aspect gives all your guns assault. Amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
You love that on a Despoiler.
Yeah, you did.
I was going to say Crusader, but I got it right. You love that on a Despoiler, but then while you're using Unholy Hunger, which is plus 3-inch move, you can't ignore any and all modifiers to your move and or advance rolls. You compare that to Knight Diabolus, which is plus 1 weapon skill all the time, and then when you take sustained or lethal in combat, you get Lance.
So good.
That's
so much better.
So much better.
Oh my gosh.
That's real good.
Yeah, that's wild.
So the enhancements are reasonably good. This detachment just straight up has Rotate Ion Shields, Diabolic Bulwark.
Right there.
Also has Armor Contempt, which to me is strange to put together. The fact that they have Hellforge Construction, which has reduced the AP of an incoming attack by 1.
Right.
And the 4-up invuln strat.
Yeah,
is like,
I would have spread those out a bit more.
Why are these in the same detachment?
Exactly.
Warp Vision, Ignore Cover. These are fine. We have a sticky objective strat. This is our favorite detachment.
Yeah, we like it a lot. Solid.
Lords of Dread is the character detachment, which is really big knight characters because you can't make small knight characters in this detachment.
Exactly.
But all the rules care about you having characters.
Yeah, this is a historic detachment.
This is a weird one. It has 6 enhancements.
What?
So they had to reformat the way they do
6 enhancements?
the pages.
Did they do anything with that? Can you like equip more than 3?
Nope.
Oh, that's weird.
Nope. And the detachment ability is that while you have... sorry, I have to cough.
No worries. Yeah, we'll definitely give the Rampager a go, for sure. Rampager and Abominant with the 1 shooting one. That's cool.
While your Warlord is on the battlefield, you can claim for the Dark Gods for free.
What is claiming for the Dark Gods?
That's a stratagem.
Strat. Oh, right, okay.
And your characters are plus 2 OC, which is like...
That's weird.
But Claim for the Dark Gods is this detachment's super sticky.
Yes.
You sticky an objective at the start of any phase.
Okay. Oh.
That's timing we haven't seen before. So start of any phase, you sticky it, and it has to be with a character on the objective. That objective is now yours until your opponent has more control than you, and the objective itself has 5 control score for you.
That's the big one.
That's big. So they have to put more than 5 OC on it to take it.
So more than 5.
More because they have to exceed you.
So 5 JPIs, 5 Storm Boys, whatever scouts, they don't just jump in and take it away from you.
Not enough.
I really like that.
Yeah.
That's what they needed, because exactly like you said, if it's just sticky, a little trash unit just picks it off.
Yep.
And you can move up. You don't even have to start in a command phase. So you can move onto a point, secure it, shoot, charge past it, and now you sticky it.
Yep.
Very cool, right?
It is awesome. I think this detachment not having access to a rotate or some form of 4-up invuln is a big weakness.
Yeah, because
I'm going to call that out.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be like the big knight detachment.
Right.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
We should have split up Demonic Bulwark and Hellforge Construction. One of them should have gone here.
Yeah.
We do have a 2-up armor and heal D6 once per game enhancement, so that's nice.
Oh, right. They all have like a base ability and a once per game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I would also call it Blessing of the Dark Master, stealth, and once per game 0 damage.
Oh, this is the one that used to be like 70 points. It was like Transhuman or something back in the day.
It was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was good. Yeah, it's a cool detachment. I think this is probably the least competitive.
Okay. Yeah.
Specifically because it doesn't have the durability and it's about big knights.
Yeah. You have -1 damage, but it is 2 CP.
It's 2 CP.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And this has the 4-up. Okay, I promise I would talk about this. This has 4-up explode.
Oh, yes.
There is nothing worse in Warhammer than spending command points and nothing happens.
It's so true.
Like, just give me 2 CP auto explode. Yeah. If I pay to explode and I fail, it's miserable.
It's just too much on a single die roll. You know, like you think about Fight on Death, for example. Yep. It's 2 CP automatic, 1 CP 4 up, but the thing is you'll also never want to use that on a single model. It's not a single roll, you do it on a whole squad, so it averages out. You're going to get something from it. Whereas this, it's 50% chance that nothing happens. So I agree.
Yeah.
It's one of the few cases where you should do a 2 CP strat. You
right,
know?
yeah.
Why not?
Yep.
So, feels bad.
Yep. That's Lords of Dread. The last detachment is the War Dog detachment. We have a new version of Oath of Moment.
Right.
We have a new Oath target.
Popular these days.
Marked Prey. You choose an enemy unit in your command phase. Your War Dogs get sustained 1 against that unit while they can see it, which I don't... What indirect is there?
Well, they had all the Havoc launchers. And once they change that, probably not.
I don't think War Dogs can take Havoc launchers anymore. No. I didn't see it on anything, so I'm pretty sure that's gone.
No.
Yeah, none of them have Havoc launchers.
Wait, what?
Oh, the Brigand has a Havoc launcher.
Just the Brigand.
Which you'll never see a Brigand on the table again, so.
Whoa.
And also to call out that, like, you don't get sustained with your Havocs. Like, what do we...
calm down.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Anyway, so you get sustained 1 with your War Dogs. This is the War Dog detachment. You also make some number of your War Dogs characters. 3. You pick 3 War Dogs, their characters.
That's cool.
All the enhancements are only for War Dogs.
Yeah, makes sense.
No Big Knights in this. Like, you can.
You can.
Some of the Big Knights actually have really good buffs for the War Dogs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could see running one for like the buffs.
I would have liked this detachment to be a little bit less exclusive to War Dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Brigand, Carnivore, Stalker, they're saying have the launchers, they think.
Yeah, those are the... Well, Stalkers are fine. Brigands and Carnivores are now the worst Knights. And Stalkers are fine. The Scout is actually quite nice.
Yeah, Stalker's fine. Yeah, Carnivore and Brigands we don't like, unfortunately. People kind of alluded into... Well, we'll talk about more profiles later on, but yeah.
Yeah.
They both lost a ballistic skill / weapon skill.
Yep.
And the AP on one of them. So yeah, they just feel like they're the specialized one, and you pay for the fact that they're specialized, but you don't get benefit from it. You know, so I'd rather just be able to do everything, shoot and fight. With the Stalkers, with the Huntsmen. Yeah. Even the Executioners have a role, you know?
Right.
Anyways.
So the enhancements here are interesting, but you have to keep in mind these are War Dogs. Like, you're not...
Yeah.
You're not getting the bang for your buck that you would on a Big Knight enhancement.
Right.
Because they have 14 wounds, and they're T9, and they're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Price Layer's Mantle, I think, is the most adorable enhancement I've ever
really
seen.
Funny.
You give a War Dog Super Heavy Walker. Why? Why would anyone ever want to do this?
It's so funny.
What value does this
You can
bring?
tow into terrain, you can move over walls.
Like, what does this do for you?
It's so cute.
There are some actually good ones. Loping Predator gives assault to all your guns.
Yeah.
There's an aura. Final Howl is a terrible name for this, because you're not dying.
Yeah,
Final Howl implies that you're dying.
They should have kept this was the helm before.
Yep.
It was so cool.
But no, now it's you howl as you're dying.
Oh, it doesn't give you towering. Wow, okay. So it's literally just moving through stuff.
This is an aura to reroll wounds of 1. It's pretty good.
That is good.
That's good.
Yeah, we like that.
It is restricted to a War Dog. I would have liked this to be on a Big Knight.
Right.
So you can have a Big Knight with an aura, and this would have been nice. Anyway, Panoply of the Cursed Knight, best one, permanent armor contempt.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But it's on a War Dog.
I'm surprised that more of these are not buffs or auras. You know, they're all like, make this War Dog a bit better.
This one War Dog.
One guy.
It's strange.
Yeah, I think more of them should have been like Final Howl with a different name.
Yep.
You know, or like a minor buff and then Lone Op or something. Right?
There's a stratagem called Vox Howl.
That's awesome.
It should have been, the enhancement should have been named Vox Howl.
Yeah. Well, they already used it. They should have all
You
all
can
of
tell
the
they
strats,
wrote this first.
It should have just been different howls.
And the strats are fine. I think the most interesting one is you can uppy downy knights. Wholly within 12 of a board edge. You can uppy downy end of fight phase.
That's
end
cool.
of opponent's fight phase.
Yeah, normal. But 12 is nice because it's a bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a reactive move, which I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a normal move of 6 inches.
Okay. Fall back, shoot, and charge.
Yeah.
Like it's good stuff. I think if you want to continue to play what you were playing before, which is all War Dogs, it's still a great detachment, you know?
Yeah, I think this is better than it seems, just because war dogs are good, and we've known that for a while. But unfortunately, now is the time that we talk about the war dogs. We're gonna go into data sheets, and I think it's worth starting with war dogs. Brigands used to be everywhere. You would run as many brigands as possible. You will not see them probably at all anymore. They used to be BS2 because they had 2 guns. That was the thing. Like, they couldn't really fight, so they were BS2.
Yep.
And they used to get +1 AP if they shot the closest target. That is gone. That ability is now an aura on a Big Knight. And they're BS3. And the ability they got in return is if they shoot something that's on an objective, they get ignore cover. Which is sometimes +1 AP.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It would have been, I don't know. It would have been kind of cool if it like stripped cover or something.
Right. Yes.
That would have been fun.
Yep.
You know?
Carnivores are no longer weapon skill 3.
Right.
Their whole thing was they have 2 swords, or like a claw and a sword.
Right.
So they should get a bonus for that, because they can't really shoot anything.
They should.
Well, they should, but they don't.
They don't.
They can now reroll advances or charges. They can reroll advance and charge,
But they don't advance and charge.
they can't advance and charge. That is correct. So,
It's so weird.
yeah. So, yeah. Stalkers get still +1 to wound things that are not within 6 of any other friends. So they kill stuff that's alone. Stalkers are reasonably good. They scout 6. I like them.
I like them, honestly.
Most of the data sheets, to be honest, have not changed. Executioners lost Anti-Fly 2. We talked about that in the game. And they didn't really get anything in return.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad, because now I'm not really sure what they do.
They're long range firepower. The rest of this army is mid to short range even. I know we haven't gotten to Huntsman necessarily in the Melter range, but this does give you a down cross-court shot. It is something that can hold a back objective.
Yeah.
So like I don't hate them, but I don't love them. You know, again, AP1 is very tenuous. If you could strip cover with the Brigands, again, I would like this a lot more.
Now we're in. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now we're talking.
So yeah, for sure. Only the loyalist Hellfriends had an anti-fly. No way! No way!
Is that true?
No way!
That might be true.
Wow. Plus +1 to hit below half strength.
Which is still what they have, yeah.
They have that. You're good there.
And now, if they kill a unit, they battle shock everything within 3 of that unit.
Agreed. It's not a real rule. Yeah.
Yes.
Precisely. Yeah.
So Huntsmen still reroll wounds against monsters and vehicles, but the Demon Breath Spear is now 18-inch range.
Yeah. Which is... I don't know if it's a bummer, but it's certainly a hit. Because that was one of their strengths, is they had a decently long... It was a multi-melta, right? With super melta. So this means that now when you come in from reserve, you're not getting that melta 4, because you'll be over 9 away, which is not half range anymore.
It's another nerf to the Brigand.
Yes, exactly. Precisely.
Tyrant, really good. Kept T12. I guess kept T12 isn't really... They were T13, now they're T12.
Right, yeah.
They gained 2 wounds, so they're 28 wounds, which is a lot
That's a lot of wounds. Yeah.
Especially at T12.
Right. Yep.
They still move 8, so they're still pretty slow. 3 up, 5 up, but in the character detachment, you can give them the 2 up armor.
Yep. Which is, so they were 2 up armor before, I believe. So they did lose that, but again, I think they're trying to de-skew a little bit here. The points is the crazy thing for them.
They're probably too cheap.
They're too cheap.
We can't talk about that. And they have all the same guns. Really nothing much changed other than a few stat points that got shuffled. Knight Despoiler now has +1 OC for War Dogs in 9. That goes to 12 with your Dread ability.
Is OC, is there also leadership?
It's OC and leadership.
So the leadership is nice if you're going Infernal, because you're constantly rolling those leadership checks. And they are, I think, leadership dogs, I think, are 7, and Big Knights are 6.
That sounds right.
So it is a bit an important inflection point. Like statistically, you're going to take way less.
6 is a lot better, yeah.
So like, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yes, the harpoon is still 12 damage. And it's D3 shots. It needs to be 1 shot for the harpoon.
No.
Why is it blast? What part of a giant harpoon is blast? I don't, what?
It's so at odds with what it's trying to do. It's so weird.
I think they just gave it blast so you couldn't shoot it in combat, which, again, it's a harpoon. Do they know what a harpoon is?
The harpoon. It was 1 shot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Knights were always a stat check army. It still is. It will still be for sure. But I do think this is what they're trying to do here. And it's only 12 inches now. Yeah.
Wasn't it 12 before? Was it 18? It might have been 18.
18. Yeah. Yeah.
It did lose. Oh, that's a big call out. It lost anti-vehicle, anti-monster 4 up because it's still dev.
Wait,
it lost
really?
the big anti, but it's strength 24.
No, that's
So you're
so
just
much worse.
losing the always dev everything all the time.
But he needed it.
Which was awesome.
It was hilarious.
It was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I was here for it.
It was awesome.
But I think they're trying to, and I know that recent books have come out with anti-dev, but I think they're trying to reduce the amount of anti-dev in the game.
I mean, it feels bad. This unit, and especially the flamer / harpoon combo, was always designed to make someone feel bad. Is the
your
problem.
opponent.
Or you. When you miss with your one shot and you're like, now I'm big sad, you know?
Yeah.
Or again now, so it's AP 6, 12 damage. I got 5 up in duel. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, someone's gonna be sad. At least now it's D3 shots.
yeah.
I think blast feels weird on it because what are you shooting at that you get blast? It's a 12 damage AP 6 strength 24 gun. You're not.
What blast are you getting? What are you shooting? I'm scared. What army from the future is this?
It's a unit of titans.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Another good call out, and this did come up in the game. War dogs, when they're tired, do half their OC, and OCs have changed. So big knights are 10 down to 5. War dogs are 6 down to 3 when they get tired.
Yeah.
These are all good call outs.
Exactly. Yep.
The brand new knight that we saw today is the Ruinator.
Yes.
So it has a Flame Lance, which is an 18-inch 2d6 flamer, strength 8, AP 1, 2 damage. I like it, but I would have liked for it to get AP 2. It does, of course, ignore cover and its torrent because it's a flamer. And then they also have Terror Pulse missiles, 2d6 blast, hit on 3s, strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage. Yep. I could have seen these profiles switched. I think this could be AP 1 and the flamer could be AP 2.
Very true.
But what are you going to do? And then they have a Fellbore, which is a big punchy drill. It's like a pneumatic drill that they punch into things.
Yep.
You get 4 strike attacks or 10 sweeps. The sweeps are strength 9, AP 2, 2 damage. The strikes are anti-monster, anti-vehicle, 2 up. So take that.
Pretty sick.
Strength 14, AP 3, 6 damage, but 4 attacks. So keep that in mind because this is the Vindicare problem. Methodical Destruction, he picks a unit to hate, just like the head takers from Space Wolves.
Right.
He picks a unit, he rerolls wounds against that unit until it dies, then he picks a new one.
Yeah.
Great. His aura for War Dogs is +1 AP when they shoot the closest, which was the Brigand ability.
I know.
Man, I want it back on my Brigands. They did Brigands and Carnivores real dirty.
They so did. You want to take this? Thank you, Neil Adams, for the super chat. War Dogs versus Death Guard, T8, 4+ save, and hitting on 4s when afflicted real feels bad. Well, here's the problem. Death Guard are too good.
Yeah.
And we can't be building everything to that same standard.
No.
T8, 4+ save, and hitting on 4s when afflicted.
They're saying Death Guard make your knight T8. They give you a 4-up save.
Yeah.
Or you hit on 4s. Not both. They don't have both -1 save and -1 +6 skill.
Yeah, no, they can't do both of these.
But
Well, some circumstances, but yeah.
but
Yeah, it's not.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Death Guard good.
But Death Guard cannot be the meter stick for the remainder of 10th edition. Otherwise, we end up in
Yeah.
an arms race.
You also can't, justify not reducing a toughness on one army because one other army reduces the toughness. Like, that's the whole point of what their faction does. Is you're supposed to feel the impact of it.
Yeah.
And maybe before you didn't feel the impact enough,
Yeah.
I think it's a big point. Yeah, final ingredients. Yes, if they have their super combo unit with final ingredients, and it's like,
Sure.
that's the way it goes. People were saying, so we can talk about points. We cannot publish points, printed points lists.
So we can talk about them broadly, vaguely.
We can
We
say
think
points.
tyrants are too cheap. Can we say that?
Because someone was like, they're real bad. They have to be super cheap. A tyrant is 435 points. And the other knights are about 400 points.
Yeah.
So they're very cheap. They're basically cost the same. So just putting that out there.
And tyrants have great guns.
Yeah.
And they always have and they always will.
Didn't say it was likely, but it's technically possible. Yeah, for sure.
It's possible, and it does feel bad.
We all feel bad about Death Guard.
Right, yeah. We all want Death Guard to be changed. And you and I both like playing Death Guard, and we want them nerfed.
Yeah. Oh, Colonel Panic still don't like it. Fair
You'll
enough.
never see a tyrant
You'll
at that
never
price.
see it.
I think you will see tyrants at that
I
price.
think you will. 435. is quite good. Anyways.
Yeah, I think we did all the data like none of the other data sheets changes really are significant.
I like the War Dog. I know you mentioned the OC and the half OC or whatever, and I think that's great because War Dogs, again, very skew, felt bad, oppresses normal troops. Like 5 troops can't possibly hope to compete with a War Dog, even when they were comparable points. It was just too much. Oh yeah, Imperial Armor Index. Someone's asking if we can confirm or deny the Chaos stuff. We can't. Truthfully, we don't know. We will try to get clarification and find out what we can say or not say. But as of right now, genuinely, I just don't know what the situation is on that book. So we'll do our best to find out and let you know if we can. But that obviously is a big question. You know, Custodes maintained all their Forge World stuff. Did they get an update to the rules on them at all? I don't think so. No, because we were like, oh, they're going to fix the tank, and they didn't fix the tank. But obviously, in this case, if everything is losing toughness, then they would have to do that if they're going to allow them to be played. So, not sure. I tend on the side that they probably will still be included, at least for now.
No more Lancers. Why are we Lancer haters in the chat? What's wrong with Lancers?
Well, he's saying if they lose Imperial Armor, then they lose in the Lancers.
Please, no more Lancers? Sam, what's wrong? Lancer is one of the coolest knights ever made.
I hate Lancers.
What's wrong with Lancers?
Lancers, I hate them because they have invuln saves.
But
now they all have invuln saves.
They have a shield that is larger than your entire army put together.
It feels
so me they don't get an invuln?
Bad, dude. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Death Guard, let me tell you how I played Death Guard and I felt bad. It was Death Shroud Terminators into a Lancer. He has mindless like a billion saves. I have free roll, sustain, lethal, all the crazy stuff. And he's got 4-bit invuln.
Are you, sorry, are you trying to get sympathy as a Death Guard abuser?
To get sympathy. I took him to 1 wound. 1 wound! 1 wound! And then on the next turn, he was like, I fight first. I killed him. And he's like, now I fight on death. And I kill all your people. And I was like, -1 damage. And he's like, I don't care. It's 8 damage. I'm just saying.
You're not going to get sympathy
Death
from
Guard,
people.
they need help.
If you were playing any other army, you would have an angle. But you cannot take Death Guard in their current state to an event and complain about anything.
I will complain. Anyways, yeah, Lancers, I think, Lancers are, first of all, they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
No one can deny that they're not cool.
Yeah.
But they were very important because of the fact that they didn't involve in combat. And now this book, again, we really like the Infernal Lance, whatever it's Infernal thing.
That's right, Infernal Lance.
Infernal Lance, because it gives you access to involved in combat, which is so important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We do have some super chats here. Thank you, Matthew Powell. The most important question, the fluff. Are the pictures pretty, and is there enough lore? So I actually turned to Adrian before the show, and I was looking at like the detachment art.
Yes.
And I said, it's such a shame. Oh, we're not in focus. I was like, it's such a shame they will never make models as cool as the knight art in the books.
It's a tragedy.
Like he has wire intestines dangling out, and a head they'll never make, and a...
Pretty cool. I think
Where's
we're
out here?
Like where your
this
face
giant
was.
skull cannon, and the intestines, and the head is really cool.
Pretty sick.
And so every page is like a cool new art. They have like Skeletor Knight. He's got like a rib cage of evil metal.
All glowy. You see all the birds in the back.
So cool.
Welcome TK Nolan to Captain Hood. Maybe we'll see you on Tuesday for Chaos Knights.
Have they ever written like real lore for Chaos Knights? Like real lore?
I mean, yes.
Like,
I don't know what to say to that.
Has anyone ever read it?
What are the Crusade rules? Oh, that's sick. What?
Wait, that has nothing to do with knights.
Those are actual knights.
These are just demon people.
Those are like mortal knights.
Look at Furnace Head.
That's so cool.
That guy's awesome.
That's so cool. This
right.
is what I would have liked to have seen in the book. Maybe, philosophically, maybe you shouldn't add like little infantry to add to these, but I think it would be so cool.
You could just have a knight, like a full-scale knight that looks like Furnace Head. Why can't we have Furnace Head Knight?
Furnace Head Knight would be sick.
Why can't we have
Furnace
that?
Head Knight? Let's do it.
I think
That's just Trench Crusade.
normal proportioned knights that aren't weird like derpy giant pauldrons. We could have that.
How dare you?
Like look at
dare you.
the jade construct for Cathay.
Yeah. He's cool.
He's normal
He's a
proportions.
statue. He doesn't have to have shoulders. It's all the same. He's not protecting
Still has shoulders.
key elements.
He's just all made of stone.
Yeah, house guard. That would be cool, right?
Supposed to looking at Crusade rules? Is that
Yeah,
what
I'm
you're
curious the Crusade rules. And that might answer some of your lore questions.
Like, do they have lore?
They have to have lore, right?
Agendas are just a generic thing. Everybody has things they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Amassing power.
Chaos Knights attempt to amass power, influence on their campaigns through the galaxy. The true strength of a Chaos Knight's force lies in the power base presented below. That doesn't answer the question. When you bend to amass power, you have a standing level. Oh, and you have levels. You go from hostile to distrustful to wary to cautious alliance to aligned interests. Oh, I think they just published an article on this. And
You
for
and your god?
for a second, I thought Come the Apocalypse allies were back, and I was like, no, please, we can't.
It's you and their god. You and the god start out not tight, and you
Right.
end up kind of a little tight.
Just a little.
Sometimes you're friends.
Exactly. Yeah. They have lore. They have lore. Trust me.
Do they though? I don't. This is not giving off big lore vibes.
Legs and arm enhancements. You can choose leg day or arm day. It's the charts.
This is not giving off
This is
lore
awesome.
vibes. Torso. I have a torso.
No, this is so cool. You can like customize the parts. That's awesome. Ah, so cool.
Hunting packs of dogs is cool. You can do packs, which is cool.
Yeah. No, I like shoulder. I'm pro shoulder pads in this situation.
More cool art.
That's sick.
Look at that. It's a literal dog.
That's weird.
It's
It's
cool.
got some like lizardman vibes to the back. It's kind of Aztec.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Predator a little bit.
Oh, it is.
Got a little Predator going on.
Yeah. Oh, these are the scars. Miasmal emulsions. Inadequate offerings. Tattered panoply. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty loreful to me.
It's a fun book.
So it's like worse Battletech. No, it's better Battletech because it plays way faster.
Because you can finish a game in a day.
Exactly. That's our review on the art. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got.
It's a great conversion
Mostly good
army, honestly.
Oh, who's this guy?
Whoa.
That guy's
that's
like a Gene Stealer called. They're an
That's a
ad mag.
He's a Dark Mechanicus guy.
He's
So
cool.
sick. So cool.
Little pinchy claw.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if they did more with that. They run a normal Imperial Knight and make them more chaos over time. Yeah, that'd be sick, honestly.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's the build the Demon Prince from Warhammer 3. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Dark Mech feel like a matter of time, right? It feels like a when, not if kind of situation. Here's hoping.
There was another super chat that has gone by.
Yes. Thank you, Magnus Nothing Wrong, for the classic 777.
Hello.
What up, fam? If we do use DG as the baseline for the rest of 10th, we can full-on accelerate the 9th edition callback. Iron Hands supplement and Light Quinn's when. Yeah, so true. That's the other way of approaching it. You would say, okay, this is the new bar. Let's just go crazy with it. This edition's been ups and downs, right? Yeah. We saw, so Guard and Eldar had a couple exceptions, obviously. There was the Bridgehead and Yunari, but by and large, they were toned down. They felt balanced and flavorful and cool. Then we saw, of course,
Orcs.
Orcs. Orcs was the problem.
Twice.
And then, yeah, Tactical, they kind of nipped in the bud. It was like doing well, but not crazy, but they were like, nope. Then DACA was way too much. And then, what's the book after that? What am I forgetting?
Did you say
Emperor's
Eldar?
Children was, again, pretty level-headed, honestly, by and large. Now we're like, okay, well, here's Death Guard. Here's, well, they seem fine. Thousand seems very strong. The power level seems like it's spiking up again. This feels more in line with like
Space
Guard and
Wolves?
Eldar. Space Wolves seem very strong.
On the rise?
So I don't know. It's very spiky. It's not consistent at all. But I think this is a good power level. Increase the points on all, on the Space Wolves, on the Death Guard. War Leaders are probably fine. Fix the Bloodletter strat, and then
Fix the bloodletter straight. You're gonna take away.
it's too good.
You're gonna take
Too
away.
good.
You're
No, I'm not gonna take it away.
You're
You
gonna
can keep
take
it. You
away
can keep it.
my nonsense bloodletter
It's
strat.
so dumb.
All right. In return,
Okay.
Death Shroud. Either fully lose the 6-inch, or they can't. I still think it's crazy strong. If they come down, they can't charge.
Yeah.
Like you could rapid ingress 6
Still very
away.
strong. No, I agree. I think it is too much.
So good.
I think one or two rules changes, but mostly points changes would fix Death Guard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that is
agree.
one of the
I
rules
agree.
ones, I think, honestly. Yeah, it's true. So I think if we can do that, we're in a pretty good place in the game. I don't know. We'll see. they're off on a tangent now.
6-inch charge shouldn't be in the game. Yeah. Except for the carnivore.
Yeah.
Because the carnivore really needs it. I think if the carnivore deep struck 6 away, it doesn't even have deep strike. It,
Right.
it comes in from reserves 6
Yeah.
away. Strategic reserves. That's fine. You can let the carnivore do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignore invul. You know.
Make them ignore invulns?
Make them ignore.
Oh, this is against Lancers.
So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Cursey Lancers.
Is there anything Death Shroud don't do?
Didn't the FAQ Death Shroud Terminators that they can't use 6 times Deep Strike? Well, no, what he's saying is take away the charge, but keep rapid ingress, basically.
Yeah, let them rapid 6 away.
Yeah. That's his, like, give and take here.
Yeah.
Carnivore are sustained now. It's the same as weapon skill 2. Sometimes it's the same as sustain 2.
No.
But not always.
No.
No, it's not.
Sustain is not the same as weapon skill 2. Sustained hitting on 3s means that you will hit 2/3 of the time, and 1/6 of the time, you can like copy the 6 onto the 2, but you're still missing on a 1.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
No.
Hold on.
No, it is.
Are they?
It is, but then.
But if you're -1 to hit, it's now much worse.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting to. So it's close.
And you can be +1 to hit if you're hitting on 3s, and now it's much better.
Yeah. Can you get +1 to hit?
But then also, you can get sustained from your pact, from your surge.
Yeah.
So having sustained already on the weapon is bad.
They got rid of 6-inch in the balance state slate. What? No, they didn't. Anyways, it's very close to the same math. Yeah, for sure.
Look, this is a berserker situation. You can show me the math and tell me it's the same, and it just doesn't feel right. I'm gonna flip flop, okay? With berserkers, I'm gonna believe the math.
I just don't love the fact that they're all melee and they don't shoot. So like, I could see taking them in a War Dog heavy list after you've taken your other stuff.
You would?
6 huntsmen, 6 stalkers.
Okay, that's all your points. You're done.
No, it's not that many. We had, it's not that much. That's 12 of them. 12 times 150-ish, 140-ish. The thing is, they all cost very similar points. We're talking about within 10 points.
It's hard to compare them when they're basically the same cost.
Exactly.
I mean, it's too easy to compare them. That's the problem.
No, it's too easy.
It's like hard to say why you would ever take a carnivore. No one was playing them before. They were the worst night.
Sometimes.
Carnivores suck, dude.
I'm not a fan.
I think all of the War Dogs, their shooting is so much better than their fighting.
Have you guys gone over points yet? We can't like show points. We can talk about points. Like you said, the War Dogs are 140-ish. Give or take 10. Sorry, only give. I guess we could say 145, give or take 10. And the Big Knights are all sitting around 400, including the Big Knight, which is only the most expensive, which is the Tyrant, which is more than that, and the Ruinator actually is the cheapest. Ruinator is the new one, which we like a lot.
It's weird to me that Questoris scale knights. Sorry, I'm going to use Imperial terminology. I don't think...
Abhorrent class, thank you very much.
Are 400... 400's too much to me.
It feels like
for those. 300 is what is my, like, cheapest... Like a...
300?
The knight that only fights.
The Rampager?
Well, I was trying to think of the Imperial name.
Oh.
But yes, a Rampager
yeah.
should be about 300 points. IMO. I am not a lawyer, but...
What's the Abominant give? Forced Battle
He's
Shock.
a weird psyker, man.
I don't love him anymore. I keep seeing people talk about him.
I don't think I ever loved him.
My problem is his gun. I have the same problem I always have. Is it's 0 AP.
Yeah.
It's 12 3-damage shots. Devastating, but it's 0 AP.
Zero AP.
I've seen him multiple times today, so I'm curious.
Yeah, but it's 0 AP.
Yeah.
They get 2 up. Like, every army's going to get a 2 up.
Right? And he wubs some mortal wounds, but I don't know.
Don't love him.
I love the model. Model's sick.
Cool model.
Knight with tentacle and tails? Sign me up.
So you don't think a combat-only Big Knight should be about 300 points?
I think 300 is too cheap. I think like 350.
What are you comparing it to? Like, what...
What am I comparing it to?
Like, Primarchs, like a Gilliman, does way more for around the same points. Now, he's a named character. You only get one of him.
Yeah.
But
300?
Does anybody ever want 2 Rampagers?
If they were 300, I would. I would run 3 for 300. Isn't that crazy?
Is that crazy?
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't, like, 300's what these were for a long time.
2 War Dogs is about 300.
Yeah.
No, I think it's too cheap.
You think that's crazy?
I think so. Is he crazy? Your Bloodthirster is
am I crazy?
325.
Boom! Thank you, Chad. Coming in with the math from the top rope.
Fair. It's fair.
And Bloodthirsters get +1 to hit in a giant aura.
Yeah, when you say it like that.
Same toughness, same save. Permanent 4-up inmult. Yo. I got people backing me up.
Yeah.
I have other people saying
But they want you to tell them that the new Codex is bad.
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the points just seem out of whack to me.
Yeah.
That they're saying like a Questoris Knight is about 400 and a Dominus Knight is about 400. Like that just it can't be the same.
I definitely agree. Like the all melee one has to be a lot cheaper, which is kind of the same philosophy we have for the Stalker, right? But again, I see people in chat are valuing Stalkers, but not valuing Rampagers. You know, like what's the difference here? You know, I'm not convinced that a big guy's better than 2 dogs. I'm not sure. I'm torn. Like on one hand, I'm like it's crazy. On the other hand, the Bloodthirster is a good point.
It should be more than twice as durable because it can only be in one place.
Scarbrand for 305. Scarbrand is too good for 305. That's absurd.
Well, everybody knows that. Yeah, Scarbrand's too good.
That's crazy.
He's one of the best units in that book.
He's 305.
He's very good.
That's absurd.
Does Rampager still have advance and charge?
No, I lost it.
And we talked about that a little bit in the stream.
Yeah.
If you could run the Infernal Lance and give him +3 move and advance and charge, they would probably be too good.
Yeah. Yeah. They gotta be careful with it.
Probably too good.
Again, I think the philosophy is less skew. So.
The Lords of Dread, the character detachment, does have an enhancement to give advance and charge once per game.
Yeah.
265.
What number is that? Whatever it is, I disagree. Is that your offer for a Rampager?
John McCardle asks, what would it mean for allies if Rampagers were 300? Nothing. Yeah. Nobody's going to ally in a Rampager.
I might take a Rampager.
What army wants a Rampager?
Avatar Arcane. Poor Avatar.
What Chaos Gunline army?
I think Avatar's another victim. They've been doing a good job making, it's not disincentivizing, but kind of disincentivizing legions from taking knights, Chaos Knights. So again, the Death Guard contagions don't affect them, help them anymore, which is great. Plus, they're also generally shoring up weaknesses. Emperor's Children, maybe? Although, you could take 2 Mauler Fiends.
Yeah, you don't want a Rampager.
I'd probably take 2 Mauler Fiends.
You don't have the points for a Rampager.
Rampager instead of Fulgrim. Your army would be cheaper than Fulgrim.
Your army barely functions. Yeah. Like, it's self-contained.
I think Fulgrim should be 300 points.
You would think Fulgrim should be 300 and a Rampager shouldn't.
Rampager's a lot tougher than Fulgrim. And a lot more consistent, unfortunately.
He has fight first. He's way tougher.
Yeah, you know. What are you going to say? Does that army have +1 CP for strats aura? +1... Oh, like a Vect? No. No Vect.
Yeah, no. There's no Vect. And there's no discount. There's no refund.
Yeah.
There's no CP manipulation in this book really at all, but there's almost no 2 CP strats as well. So take what you can get.
It's interesting.
Do they have a Vect?
Do you know where?
Maybe it's one of the 6 in the detachment that has 6. I just didn't read them all. There's 6.
6. Is it in the character one, folks? If you know, let us know.
Mirror of Fates is command reroll for free. Once per battle, you make a strat cost 1 more.
Does it be close to you or just
forever? It's actual old Vect.
Oh, that's wild. What the heck?
That is really weird. Well, it's medium old Vect, because old Vect was like, it works for this usage and all future usages, and they've nerfed it to be just all future usages.
Right, so
this is all future.
You don't have like, where's the money? Like, I literally can't pay for it.
Yeah.
You can't pay for it next time. Lord of Deceit. It's literal...
Well, it's not quite 8th edition. Like, the thing we just said, it's not exactly original 8th ed Vect.
No, I guess they're right. Because it is the Vect, it will change it to Lord of Deceit. How old is this book? Is that true?
I'm out. Nope.
I don't know.
No, I'm not messing with that. That's
We're not playing that one until we get an FAQ.
I don't care. Like, that's stupid. It just turns into Lord of Deceit.
So
remember when GW published rules and they were correct when it came out?
We have to translate them.
Remember those days? We have to go through so many documents to figure out what the rules actually are.
Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez. Yeah. It's too funny. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. final questions. We're going to do wrap-up thoughts. We do like the book. Yes, some things took hits. We think it's generally for the best. Some things might even be secretly better. There's certainly more ways to play it, which is one of the #1 things when you're looking at books like Chaos Knights and eventually Imperial Knights is like, how do you make very few units go far?
Yep.
And so I'm excited to play against it. I'll play Thursday.
Yep.
You're mostly been playing it.
They've been pushing towards this army being a horde army, and I don't think this helped with that. And
Yeah?
I don't love the concept of like just a bunch of war dogs. I think that should be a way to play, but I don't think that it should be like when you think knights, you don't want the first thing to come to mind.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, a bunch of war dogs.
Right. Were knights a mistake? No, we're not good.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
like they realized that planes were a mistake, and they essentially removed planes from the game.
He means in the game, not in real life.
I do mean in the game. Yeah, aeroplanes in real life, not a mistake.
Not a real army. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so we'll see. Lots to try out. Tuesday again for members. We'll play. I'll put up a vote for. There's how many detachments?
4. Only 4.
4.
Right?
Should I take out the one we just did?
Probably.
Okay, so we'll do a vote between the other 3 on Tuesday, and then we'll play the remainders on Thursday and Saturday. Oh yeah, it lines up. 4. We should do that.
4 for 4.
So we'll continue to try new stuff, and it'll be a great time. Let us know what you think.
Oh, one more.
Richard Garfield released Islands were a mistake too. What's up, John McCardle? Thank you for this $20 super chat. Adrian, I actually had a serious 40k question. Definitely not heresy related.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay, here it is. Which chapters still likely use Saturnine armor in the current setting? And why is it most likely Imperial Fist?
It is definitely Fist.
No.
They're the only people who still use it in 40k. And it's because they were just standing there on Terra.
They never left.
They never left.
No, they left, okay? They left during the Great Beast. They had to do the fighting.
The guys in the Saturnine armor did not leave. They couldn't leave.
They couldn't move.
They were trapped by
They
their
are
cauldrons.
literally a fortress themselves.
It's totally Fist.
No, I hate it. I hate it. I'm not painting those yellow. I refuse. We'll paint them white scarves. Oh, man.
That's like the least white scars unit you can imagine.
It really is.
Get that guy on a bike. Now we're talking.
Get that man a bike. Amazing, folks. Well, thank you. Really appreciate the lively discussion and all that stuff. It really helps us kind of use that as a sounding board and discuss ideas. So let us know if you're not joining us live in the comments what you think of the book. What are you excited about? What are you worried about? It's going to be a great time. With that, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you all next time on the tabletop.
Bye.